Well, you know the Steve Stout story, right?
No.
Okay. Dame, I believe, told the story too himself. And I've had people tell me the story that were actually there when it happened. So Dame's thing, if you watch some like the Rockefeller, like I forgot the documentaries they put out or whatever, Dame was always screaming at people that were trying to do business with Jay-Z without going through him.
Right.
He had a chip on his shoulder when it came to that.
Yes.
So remember there was the Jay-Z sneaker, the Stoute Carters.
Yes.
That Reebok
I remember that.
put out. Steve Stout worked that deal out with Jay-Z directly because I think at the time Dame was like in Europe and he was traveling, taking private jets everywhere, whatever else. So he set it up. Jay said, cool. They set it all up. Dame got back into town and heard about this deal. Now, if anyone who remembers, in the Universal building, Def Jam kind of had like this whole floor.
Yes.
And Rockefeller was on one side and Steve Stout had like the corner office on the other side. Dame got into the office, stormed into Steve Stout's office, and smacked him in the face. And I remember someone that was there said that you heard the smack, then you heard a loud bang because Dame's watch, he was wearing a Rolex. If he hit him so hard, his Rolex fell off and slammed against the wall.
Wow.
So, Dame won that battle, right?
Yes.
He smacked Steve Stout. You fast forward, however many years, whatever, 20 years later, 25 years later, Steve is a multi-millionaire. He still works closely with Jay-Z. He works closely with Nas. He has a successful company. Dame doesn't have any teeth. He's $8 million in the hole with the IRS, and he's having to sell his last asset for pennies on the dollar. Because I remember I talked to a friend of mine who used to be the president of the biggest publishing company in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if you were just to eyeball it, how much do you think Dame gets a year from this stake in Reasonable Doubt? He goes, well, if he has the publishing as well, which is, we don't know, at the very most, $1 million a year. So you got an asset worth $1 million a year for 5 years maximum. Anyone who bids on this, who has any sense at all, will probably offer maybe $2.5 million, maybe $3 million at the very most.
I don't think he gets everything
this
he wants.
This whole $10 million, whatever, is all a pie in the sky. Oh, let me throw in a chain. No one cares about this chain.
Because when I saw that, you know what I said? Somebody got that kind of money, they could buy their own damn chain.
And it's not like that's the only Rockefeller chain there is. Look at how many chains Jay-Z has given out over the years. Lil Uzi Vert has a chain. Big Sean has a chain.
Right.
Like, everyone fucking has Rockefeller chains. Right. It's not a rarity.
And here's the thing about what all of we're saying. Your choices come back to bite you on the ass. But as men, as we say here today, Dame and Dash, I could say this for Vlad, I could say this for myself. We truly wish you the best, young man. You know, like we're talking about you, not in a bad way, and not a good way, but we want you to know what your journey has been to the world, because you are on social media every day, you're talking every day, and some people just need to get their money and lay low and just live out their life. No one cares, and I truly wish he stopped talking about Jay-Z. In all his interviews, it's always about Jay-Z. And I'm just one of those guys, he's talking about Harlem, talk about streets, you know, I roll in Harlem a lot. And my crew, people I rock with, they would never move like that. They would never move like that.
Yeah.
And I love them and still do. I love him as a person. I just hate to see his life like that, because he was really, I remember driving down the street, we was in the fly-ass car. He wanted to know how we got the cars and shit. He was in this bad Benz. Gorgeous. Had some guy in the car with him. He's like, T to the motherfucking K. I'm drinking a Pepsi, got the seat back. When we, you know, I'm a street nigga at that time. And we see him and shit. He was doing good, because the car he was pushing,
Yo, listen,
It's
Dame had
insane.
the life that we all wanted. I remember interviewing someone from that crew a while back, and he would fly private everywhere. They'd be in France. They'd take a private flight to Amsterdam just to smoke some weed. Like, you know what I'm saying? It'd be like that type of shit. You know how much, I mean, that's probably like a $50,000 flight. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had it all. When I met him, I thought he was cool as shit. He did an interview on my platform, and then he asked me to do an interview with him. It was cool. And then at one point, it went bad.
It went bad.
It went bad. And I was like, listen, to me, it ain't no big deal. But he kept talking bad about me publicly. I started talking bad about him publicly. But to me, it's always been like, yo, at some point, you have to deal with reality and say, let me just humble myself. Let me not pretend like I'm this super CEO with all this success.
Yes, I just want him to win, man.
Yeah.
Let me
If
tell
he
you what I
humbled
think
himself,
about.
I mean, he almost reminds me of Suge in a way.
Yes.
Another CEO who drank his own Kool-Aid.
Yes.
Had they just humbled themselves and been cool with people and formed real relationships with people, you know, I mean, because Dame had a falling out with me, with Adam, like lots of people, like lots and lots of people that I've dealt with have had falling outs with him. You know, just like Suge.
Yes.
Suge's had falling outs with lots of people I've dealt with.
Right.
They might have been where they were before, but they could have maintained a comfortable
and that's
lifestyle.
The word, maintain.
Maintain, like an MC Hammer.
Yeah.
MC Hammer, people like to talk their shit, but he's still comfortable. He's still making money.
Yes.
He sells royalties. He lives, I'm sure, in a mansion, drives nice cars. Yeah, he's not doing big sold out arenas, but that's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Because we're older. And a man told me years ago, the money does stop one day. You just got to be ready.
Right.
And one of my stories about Dame.
Well, but if you have the right investments, it actually doesn't stop.
Thank you.
See?
Thank you. Thank you.
That's the thing. The incoming money might stop, but the investments will still make money.
If you're smart.
And that's mine.
That's mine.
That's my strategy.
That's my strategy as well. I remember in Philadelphia, Jay-Z and Dame Dash had made it. And then we could go on something else. They pull into the arena, coming through backstage. Show hasn't started, but I'm standing there in the cut. Jay-Z is in one of the most flyers-ass Bentleys I've ever seen in my life. Burgundy with the cream top. I remember like it was yesterday. Jewelry, must have been Jacob the Jewel or whatever. Because the shit was, when he hit the stage, that ice lit that motherfucker up like it was the lights from the arena. And that's the moment I remember them. And I remember saying to myself, when I saw Damon Dash come out to actually sing with Jay-Z, this is going to be his downfall. He thought he was an artist.
Yeah, he started a rock band not too long ago. At like 50 years old. It was like, I didn't
He was on stage performing with Jay.
Yeah.
And I said, that's going to be his downfall. Because when you're a manager, to stay longevity from what I've seen.
You gotta stay behind the scenes. Yeah.
And be quiet.
Yeah.
You get the money, you make your moves. No one knows who you are. And you're going about your business. So, wish you well, Damon Dash. That's all we can say. We all getting older.
And Dame, you have an invitation back on Vlad TV. Whenever you want. Call me up. You still have my number.
Still the same.
Still the same. There's no real beef with us. I've had real beef. This is not that.
Yes, yes.
This is just some internet back and forth.
As that man gets older, I want him to have a decent life. I see he has his network or whatever, he's doing all this stuff. I don't know if he's making real money on it.
There's no traffic. I remember someone called me up and asked me about that, and I looked it up, and I'm like, there's no traffic here, so there's no money here.
Okay, yeah.
So you could talk all this big CEO, I'm a big media, whatever, mogul, but when you look at the traffic of that website, it's almost nothing. So,
wow. So
it is what it is.
It's just there.
Yeah, it's just
what they call
there.
it, a skeleton.
Yeah, pretty much.
A skeleton website.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
Pretty much.
Wow. Wish you the best, Dame. God bless you.